Now, from the Ford Sports Desk, KOMU 8 Sports.
Both the Kansas City Royals and St. Louis Cardinals were off last night, but it was still a big night for Major League Baseball and one particular Mizzou Tiger. Last night, the Boston Red Sox selected starting pitcher Tanner Houck with the 24th pick in the MLB draft. He's the 7th Tiger ever to slide into the first round, and first since Kyle Gibson and Aaron Crow both went back in 2009. Houck was previously drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays coming out of high school, and his 292 career strikeouts through 3 years at Mizzou are 4th most in school history. And keep an eye on top 100 prospect Bryce Montes de Oca. The Mizzou pitcher was drafted out of high school by the White Sox last year and could hear his name called again this year in one of the coming rounds. There were a few other Missouri connections in the first round. Missouri State third baseman Jake Berger, a Chesterfield native, was selected 11th overall by the Chicago White Sox. The Bears' power hitter is coming off a season where he mashed 22 home runs and 65 RBIs. Then a few spots later, at 14th overall, the Royals selected first baseman Nick Pratto out of Huntington Beach, California. You might remember him. The 18-year-old Pratto delivered the game-winning hit back in the 2011 Little League World Series Championship for California over Japan. And while the Cards and Royals front offices focused on the draft last night, the Major League clubs do have some work to do before the All-Star game hits in a month. The Cardinals start things off later today with a twin billing at home against the Milwaukee Brewers. The Redbirds are coming off a sweep over the Phillies after dropping 7 in a row before this past weekend. St. Louis currently sits 2.5 games out of first place in the NL Central. On the flip side, the Royals' trip out west continues with a 2-game set in San Francisco starting tonight. Kansas City sits 5 games back in the AL Central after a very slow start, but KC has yet to lose a series in June, in part thanks to Eric Hosmer, who's batting .370 since April 26th. There was still one more spot in the Men's College World Series going into play yesterday, with one SEC team looking to make it back-to-back Final 8 appearances. The Florida Gators needed just one win yesterday to advance. Dropped the first one to Wake Forest 8-6 in 11 innings, but followed that up by clinching the final spot with a 3-0 shutout. They are one of just 3 SEC teams still alive. And the Kansas City Chiefs made big news 2 weeks ago with the sudden release of top wideout Jeremy Maclin, with 3 years left on his contract. But the former Mizzou star did not stay unemployed for long, signing with the Baltimore Ravens just yesterday. Maclin inks a 2-year deal with Joe Flacco and the Ravens, a team that finished 8-8 last season. 29-year-old went for over 1,000 yards in 2015, but his production dipped last year with the emergence of Tyreek Hill in KC. Now, he does actually get a pretty tasty incentive along with the signing. A local restaurant offered him free crab cakes for life if he signed with Baltimore. Not too bad of a deal if you ask me. And after giving up a 3-1 series lead in the NBA Finals last season, the Golden State Warriors looked for revenge on the Cavaliers to claim their 2nd championship in 3 years. Out to the Bay Area, fans are hungry, so hungry in fact that a pair of fans spent over $130,000 on a pair of tickets, according to some reports. And the Cavs come out firing. Cleveland led by 8 early in the first, behind LeBron James' team-high 21 first-half points. But the Warriors don't stay down for long. Both Kevin Durant and Steph Curry heating up in the second quarter. The pair would finish with a combined 41 points on the half. Golden State's lead grew as large as 16 points, 71-60 at the half. But now in the third, it's going to be Steph Curry coming up here with a nasty crossover on Kevin Love, gets to the bucket for the easy lay-in. But back come the Cavs. LeBron James on the other end. He will take it to the hole, get the and one. Just like that, the Cavs are back within striking distance. And to the fourth now. This time it's Kevin Durant as he gets effortlessly to the rim for the lay-in. And his mom, Wanda Durant, the real MVP, she is loving that, as you know. We'll see a little bit of her later on. But the Warriors pulling away. But not if J.R. Smith has anything to say about that. A wild trifecta with the contact. But what's cooking on the other side? Chef Curry with the icing on the cake. And the Warriors are once again NBA champions, this time around with Kevin Durant, the Finals MVP. Durant averaged 35 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists in the series. And that's it for sports.